Hello and welcome to this afternoon taste challenge. We have from 1849 Schlitz beer, but actually this is from 2007. This is the reformulated Schlitz. Used to be called Schlitz Gusto. That was to differentiate it from Schlitz. I was talking to Jeremy Benson, and he was saying last night, he was saying, I never thought it was too good. I always thought Schlitz was all right, kind of bland, but then when they came out with the Gusto, had a lot more flavor. And then they phased out the original. Well, they phased out the 1977 to 2011 Schlitz in 2011. And now we just have, and then the Gusto reverted to Schlitz. Yeah, it's a Pabst Brewing Company brand. Yeah, it's contract brewed by MillerCoors. Yeah, they had a lawsuit. They settled it out of court. They never revealed what the terms were of the settlement. They actually settled out of court when the jury had the case. It was getting ready to deliver a decision, so they didn't want to take the risk, either side. Nick V says, afternoon, Nick V. And what are we going up against? You guessed it. Well, maybe you didn't guess it, but it's Coors Banquet beer. Coors Banquet beer, introduced in 1873. Was it ever reformulated? Really, I don't know. It's 5% alcohol. It's certified kosher. The Schlitz is 4.7% alcohol. Look, all I know about Schlitz is when I was a teenager, when I was a child, they would have, in a scavenger hunt, find a Coors bottle cap. I'm going to go put these back in the fridge so they don't get warm, because I like them cold, you know? So, like, dig it, man. I remember they would have a scavenger hunt, and one of the things that was hard to find was a Coors bottle cap, because you couldn't find it because they didn't really sell it around here. So people might go to Texas on a trip, like say, we went camping in Texas and we brought back some Coors, and it was like a big deal. And my father was like, why do they even drink that garbage? And then he tried it, and I said, what do you think? It's trash or something, you know, like that's kind of stuff he would say, but it may not have any like validity to it. And then he started drinking Coors Light up until he stopped drinking, and he claims December 2002. I say it was January 03, and I'm pretty good at dates, but he says 02. It doesn't really matter. He stopped drinking because he said every time he would drink one single Coors Light, he would run a fever. And I thought, no, that's a pretty good sign things aren't working out. All right, but man, I remember we were riding in a van or truck. I think it was one of those Econoline vans, like a 1980 something, early 80s, 384, mid 80s. Okay, but I said, it just hit me like for some reason going westbound on Interstate 10, I said, whatever happened to Schlitz? Because I can remember as a child, that was like one of the mainframe beers. Like anybody who drank beer, which I didn't do in the 70s, except when my parents would let me drink their beer. Like, so see, as a 1 or 2 or 3 or 4-year-old, if they would have a crawfish boil or a barbecue or whatever on the back patio, you like a little toddler, you know, and you saying, give me some, they let you sip it. You know you did that. And I would say to myself as a 3 or 4-year-old or 2-year-old, oh, it tastes so good. Like my daddy says that all babies love beer. He makes these definitive statements. Okay, well, I was like a baby child and I loved beer. So I can remember Miller High Life, Schlitz, Falstaff. Well, that's basically all they drink. And Dixie, of course. It was so good. Then in 1986, I tried some beer and it was bad. And it was Miller Lite. And I said, this beer tastes hollow. And then for 10 years, I didn't drink beer. I was thinking, it tastes nasty. And then I said, no, I'll give it a second chance. So just think I wasted 10 years of my life drinking soft drinks. I don't drink any, whatever you call them, soft drinks, soda pop, soda. People call it different things. I feel so much better now that I don't drink that stuff. And somebody might comment and say, you drink alcohol, you drink beer, wine, liquor, you drink all that. Yes, and I feel a lot better. And this is the truth. I feel healthier now. When I used to drink soft drinks, oh, I would get ill. Like I remember in the evening, I would feel sick, like very sick. And I couldn't even explain that, how I would feel like around 4 in the afternoon. Like, I can't describe it, but I think something's wrong, and I think that was the diet, man. I'm telling you, I don't ever get that feeling anymore. And I almost never feel bad, almost never get sick. Now, tomorrow I might wake up deadly ill and be no more beer reviews. Okay, but I'm saying as of the last 23 years, I take 1 vitamin C every day, and I mean every day. I drink beer every day. I never feel sick. Now, am I a dietitian? No. Am I an expert? No. I'm just telling you my personal experience. You may have a different experience. Oh, we have comments now. BT4K. Still need to get my hands on some Schlitz, enjoying my Yingling until I find some. Yeah, Schlitz. I'm going to go fast because I want to get on this drinking. Rocky Mountain Water versus the King of Beers, right? The King of Beers? Who said that? Scruffy's is in it. It's not the King of Beers. It's the beer that made Milwaukee famous. Just a kiss of the hops. You're thinking of Budweiser. Voltron Defender of the Universe says, sup. Hopefully this time I didn't come in at the end. No, you just started. Says Scruffy's is in it. Craig says, just got home, drinking a 24-ounce can of Labatt Blue. Really good beer. Please do a revisit if you can find it. Thanks. I can find it. I did a taste challenge with Labatt versus Moosehead about a month ago. Scrubby says, just got off soft drinks, lost 10 pounds. Hi, Ronald, says Dan. Okay, I'll stop drinking soft drinks. Now, at first I didn't lose weight because I was eating a lot and snacking and everything. So in 2001, but I was still drinking soft drinks, I was drinking beer too. December 2001, I was like, no, I don't like being fat. This is it. So I went on a diet called Eat Less and Exercise More. I invented this diet, actually. It's called Eat Less and Exercise More. So I started eating less food and exercising more. I lost weight. I lost over 30 pounds. I used to weigh 176 and a half. That was my top, I think, 176 and a half pounds. Now I weighed myself this morning 145 and a half. Well, that's 31 pounds. I must have missed the taste challenge. I think I'll check it out. Yes, I think you'll like that challenge. I really think you'll like that challenge. All right, let's go with the aroma. I think I'll be able to tell these apart. Yeah, I'm wearing a Baltimore Orioles cap. I've been to their stadium like 4 times, Orioles Park in Baltimore. And I know where to park for free. True story. That smells pretty like non-entity. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not picking up much aroma on that. But let's see. Oh, do I smell banana? Well, with aroma, it's hard to say. It's really hard to say, people. Sotally Tober says, Eddie Murray never got enough credit for his career. You must know this being a Birds fan. Oh, I didn't say I was a Birds fan. I just say I'm wearing the cap. I have a lot of baseball caps. I have a lot of Major League Baseball caps. I've been to baseball games at every Major League ballpark. ballpark, plus 8 others that are no longer used or no longer in existence. Okay, I've been to all 30 major league ballparks to games, not just visiting, I mean to actual games, plus 8 others that are no longer in existence. Or is it 9? It's a lot. All right, so I'm not a fan. I just wanted to wear the cap so I would fit in. I think this is Schlitz, but let's go with the taste. Oh, never mind. I guess that's Coors. I guess that's Coors. I really liked Orioles Park. I wish I had visited the old stadium, but I mean, I wasn't doing baseball trips then. First stadium I visited, the ballpark at Arlington in the year 2000. The Mariners at the Dallas Tech. Oh me, oh my, the Texas Rangers. And I told my friend Paul, I said, I like this. This is pretty fun. Let's go to every major league ballpark. He was like, yeah, we could do that project. And then he did part of it, but things interfered with him. But I did it. I did them all. All right. And if you think I'm lying, you're wrong, because I got the tickets to prove it. I kept every ticket stub. I said, I know people are going to think I'm lying. Like, who in the world could ever go to every major league ballpark? Well, I did it. All right. Initially, they're kind of hard to tell apart. Honestly, I've never seen Schlitz in California, says Nicholas Marsh. Yeah, people ask me these questions like, where do you find Schlitz? Well, I don't know. I'm not the person to ask. You got to ask your distributor or call, or probably more likely write an email to Pabst Brewing Company. They'll tell you. There is a locator tool on the Schlitz website. Now, whether it's accurate, let's check, because I know where I can buy it in this town. Enter my zip, my zone. What does zip code stand for? Zone Improvement Program or something? All right. Well, I hit it. Find Schlitz near you. Probably ain't nothing going to come up. But perhaps probably hadn't updated their website. They were doing spring cleaning for 3 years. For what reason, I don't know, since nothing changed. It just got worse. You just got to contact Pabst Brewing. It's pretty clean. It's like yeast and kind of sour beer flavor. Like, it tastes, I'm not picking up the banana, but like I said with the whiskey reviews, when you do one against the other, it depends which one you're doing against which other, because the flavors of them will kind of counteract and can kind of get you a little confused, you know? Like, you might drink a whiskey and say, oh, that stuff's no good. But then when you compare it against another one, you say like, oh, that's not so bad. What was I thinking? But it's not that you were thinking wrong. It's like, yeah, it really isn't that good. It's just that the other one is kind of helping it a little bit or something. Well, that's not working. That's just spinning. You know, you get that little thing spinning. Yeah, that'll be going on all day. Thanks, Pabst, for your horrible websites. All right. I thought this was going to be like a snap, like the easiest thing ever, but it's not really turning out that way. But the appearance is got me thinking, and I mixed them up really good. You saw it. This is pretty dark gold, and this is a lighter gold. So I think by appearance, this must be the Coors, and that must be the Schlitz, because I always thought that the Schlitz was darker. But yeah, I remember we were driving in that vehicle, and I asked my father, I said, whatever happened to Schlitz? He was driving. He's like, what? He didn't say what. He said, Schlitz. That's a beer. And I just looked at him like, Like, what did you just say? That was what he said. That's a beer. He said, oh yeah, 50 million can't be wrong. I was like, I don't understand this because I can remember in 1973 being 5 years old. They had Schlitz blankets, Schlitz caps, Schlitz bikinis, Schlitz T-shirts, advertisements in magazines. Go for the gusto. All of this. Now he's talking about it like it's some kind of like niche product. Now I think, well, this was 83, 84, 83, when things had really gone downhill for that company. And so maybe he's thinking he's seeing the commercials for Schlitz Malt Liquor Bull. You see, he might have been watching the Schlitz Malt Liquor Bull commercials. Don't say beer, say bull, say Schlitz Malt Liquor Bull. And now he's thinking, oh, you see, he's thinking Schlitz Malt Liquor Bull, so it's a beer. But in my mind, I'm riding on Interstate 10 and I'm thinking, no, there's something more to this. There's something more to this story. But then, of course, it took me 13 more years to figure out what was the rest of the story. But even at that age, 15 years old, I was like still like concentrating on like what happened to this brand, like what's going on, because this was like part of my childhood. Every time you, excuse me, every time you turned around watching a football game, they had a Schlitz commercial. You remember with the guys in the whitewater rafting and then the guys playing football. Every day, 11 million Americans drink a Schlitz. Every hour, 11 million. Okay, I'll get it. 11 million Americans drink Schlitz beer and all that. So I was thinking this was so iconic. It would be like Kraft mayonnaise. If it's not prominent, why is it not? That was my whole point in 1983, 84 at age 15. Why is this beer not prominent anymore? It was kind of throwing me off. Oh, so many comments. Let's see. You get any fishing in yet? I don't go fishing because I always feel sorry for the fish, but there's people around here that fish incessantly. That's all they do. Go fishing in Grand Isle, at Lake Maurepas, Lake Pontchartrain. I'm only 5 miles from the beach. 5 miles from the beach, from the boat launch. Like I can go, I'm not even 1 mile from the Mississippi River. I know people that fish in the Mississippi River. One man caught 110-pound catfish. It was in the paper. So yeah, I mean, we're bombarded with fishing, you see. Have you tried Wells Banana Bread beer? I believe it's from England. I'm a big fan. Yes, I have, totally, and I like it. It's a very good and interesting novelty item. I'm drinking Mickey's Brother, I'm Drunk. Laugh out loud, says Christian Living. I love Mickey's, and I think I need to bring Mickey's fine malt liquor into these taste challenges. I really do believe. The hot flavor doesn't give it away. Yeah, I know, says Jeff. That's what Jeff Jameson. That's what's throwing me off, because I thought it was going to be so hoppy. Schlitz was going to be so hoppy relative to Coors. I would instantly get it, but I'm not. That's not happening. Now he says, I'm drunk, but I'm sober. Two Throats says, so you're drunk or sober. Well, you know, once they get into that kind of phase that they don't really know what. He's balanced, bro. There ain't no balance here either. Well, don't look. I mean, it's like once, you know, he's past that point where his things have gone. You know what I'm talking about? He'll wake up tomorrow and say, oh, no, I didn't put all this on the internet. And everybody be like, yeah, you wrote that. It's too late now. It's all been copied and pasted and stored. All right, yeah, but oh, these comments. Drink up. Mickey's versus Colt 45, says Nicholas. Yeah, I'd be very tempted to do that taste challenge, actually. I did it. I did one once, but it wasn't a blind taste challenge. So that's important, and I didn't do that. But I didn't really think about doing blind taste challenges till later on. All right. Yeah, I kind of suspected what was what early on in this, but I was a little hesitant. But I really, from the first get-go, I kind of had an inkling that this was Schlitz and this was Coors. There were some signposts, like over here, there was a little how do you describe that? Like a brassy hops. Like, yeah, I go around drinking brass all day, but you know what I'm talking about? Like, kind of like that. And then over here, there was kind of like that banana note, so to speak, kind of yeasty bread thing, like you would think of a Coors Mazel Tov type matzo soup thing exemplification over here. You know what I'm saying? So I thought, but I didn't want to say it too fast. So just here to see which wins, says Jeremy. He's not here to watch the banter. He's here to. All right, Voltron says love malt liquor. I like malt liquor because a lot of people these days don't understand the whole concept of malt liquor back 70 years ago. But what malt liquor was in the late 1940s was an attempt to bring in a Helles Doppelbock beer to the American market, which is common in Germany. Like if you went to Germany or Austria and you said Helles Doppelbock, people would say, well, okay, well, and you would say, I'm drinking one. And they would say, okay, and like, what's the point? I mean, that's like saying I'm eating macaroni and cheese. Like nobody's impressed by that. But in the American market, they didn't really have the Helles Doppelbocks, not to mention the Dunkel Doppelbock. So, but they couldn't call it beer in America, so they had to go through all this legal stuff. And somebody came up with the idea to call it malt liquor. Can't have a strong beer. That's illegal. What are you talking about? Are you crazy? Beer can't be strong. What about malt liquor? Oh, well, that's a different terminology. The U.S. government says you can have that. So then all of a sudden there are all these malt liquors on the market, and even stout malt liquors, 8%. No, I love the talking to. I was just curious what you pick. Okay, to me, Schlitz, strong hop character for the American adjunct lager, says Sofa King. Reminds me of a German Bitburger. Yeah. Yeah. Kind of that lemony note. I think you're talking about. Yeah, I love Bitburger. Yeah, but there's sort of that little lemony character. It's not predominant, but it's there, present. Okay, let's see. I know it's Coors. I know this is Coors. I know this is Schlitz. I'm calling it already. I know. I know. Oh, that's so banana. It's laughable and so good. Oh, so very good. Now, which do I prefer? Yeah. Well, ooh. Man, if I drank about 50 cases of each for the next year, I could maybe start to pin down which one I preferred. But it would take a lot of drink and a lot of consumption and a lot. And I'm not saying that to be, flip or irreverent. I'm saying it would take that. A lot of contemplation. I wouldn't just drink it. I would drink through it. You know what I mean? Like Stevie Nicks said in The Blue Lamp. Don't listen to her, listen through her. So I would have to have like a metaphysical experience with it. And then even then I might not be able to decide which one I prefer. So they're both fabulous. Now, this day and age, 2019, prices are very high. We're not getting a good value from our money, but that's all. But we're not going to get into the Federal Reserve System, 1913 and all that. But the Coors is at this could change tonight, change tomorrow morning. But right now, I can go right there to that store and get Coors Banquet for $4.53 plus tax for a 6-pack. And I'm talking about pint cans. I'm not talking about little 12-ounce bottles, the standard. I'm talking about the extra size. I can get the Schlitz for $4.81 for the 6-pack. $4.81 for Schlitz plus tax. Now, that's a great price in this day. 20 years ago, it would have been, $2 $2.99 on the low side and $3.99 on the high end, and I'm not joking. And really, $3.99 and $19.99 would have been, yeah, you kind of like getting ripped off a little bit. So the prices have gone up so much. But I guess I would buy Schlitz right now because it's cheaper, right? So, but I mean, I like both. I've always liked both. I've never once, and I would challenge you, but of course, no one's going to do that. Well, there's a few viewers who would. I've never said a thing negative against Schlitz or Coors, except in 2014 to 2016 when I was complaining what? I said Schlitz has become an IPL. My complaint was that they were over hopping it, and then it was starting to taste like an India Pale Lager. And I do think they watched the videos. That could be more fantasy than reality, but it wasn't long after the videos came out that it was dialed back to where it was supposed to be from my original experience with the 2007 recipe. So the way I'm thinking, they watched it and they said, yeah, it's a little overhopped. And I know that some companies watch my videos because I can give you evidence of that. I still have the emails. When the Modelo Negra said they wanted to send me the beer and I do the cooking videos, I told them, I said, well, I'm not just going to say it's wonderful because you're sending me the beer. And their representative said, well, you said it was an A- when you did the reviews before we contacted you. And I was like, you watched, huh? Okay, you got me. So they check, you know what I mean? All right. Okay. That's strong. I prefer it because it's such a good taste. Mickey's tastes like a German taste. It's awesome. It's higher in alcohol than beer, says Christian Living. Yes, Mickey's is sort of an exemplary American lager, and I do need to address Mickey's more. Yes, 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 yes. When would I get tired of drinking Mickey's? Like never. And I know a bar in Metairie, a bar called Hurricanes. And that is a very popular bar in a very, very well-heeled part of the city, by the way. Not some rundown spot, but, you know, people that have money, you know. And one of the beers they offer is Mickey's. I mean, it's $2 a bottle, but it's a bar, you know, you're going to pay. But people drink that. The barley malt, bro. Have you seen the new Carlsberg relaunch? Danish Pilsner is rebranded. Worth checking out. The clever marketing. No, I've not seen it, Ricky Durant's. But I like Carlsberg, and I really like the Carlsberg Elephant. And I would like to try the Carlsberg Special Brew, you know, the 9%. But you think they don't watch them? I honestly never thought any beer company would have any time to waste to watch my videos. I really thought, why would they ever do that? But I've had more than one tell me, well, you gave it a blah, 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 blah. And I said, oh, okay. Carlsberg Elephant beats any malt liquor, says Nicholas. Yeah, Carlsberg Elephant is made with no corn or rice. It's kind of an all malt liquor. I never tasted an American malt liquor that can beat the Elephant. And I'm not anti-American. I just love Carlsberg Elephant. I just, don't even get me started. I could go on for hours talking about that. Just joined in. Sorry I'm late, says Jeep and Foodie. That's all right. I'm about to name the winner. Oh, there is no winner. They're both great. So I'm going to see if I can tell them apart. I'm drinking it now. Great American Drink, USA. Bart Robinson. Hey, Bart. I got a lot of Facebook friends watching right now. Taking my short trip tomorrow to Delaware to load up on some Schlitz, $7.99 a 12-pack. That's very low these days. Going to grab some Blue Bull while I'm at it. Cheers. Oh, the Schlitz Blue Bull. Yeah, that's probably the best malt liquor on the market. I have a friend named David, the big beard. He's a big malt liquor guy. And I mean, mostly he's a craft beer person. He like talks about craft beer like worse than me, much worse. But on the other hand, the snobs really get under his skin with the outrageous things they say. You know the snobs. You know what I'm talking about. So we were on a road trip, and he said, I'm getting the Blue Bowl. I'm getting the Blue Bowl. I said, check the dates. Check the dates. He checked. Good dates. I said, yeah, reasonable. All right. All right. So he bought, multiple 40-ounce bottles. He's like, this is a real serious, and he knows, Hella Stoppelbach. This is a serious product. I'm serious about this. I'm like, I know. He's insistent, All right. So I can remember a few years ago, some of these Facebook guys were like, hey, you don't have good taste in beer. Like, they were talking about it's hazy. It's hazy. It's hazy. He's a big person like Paul Bunyan, he could break trees in half. So he was like, hey, he's like, hey, let's meet up. We can go drinking together in New Orleans. Let's meet up. No response. Because they knew he was going to drive up. All right. Pabst Extra there yet? No. Sadly, I mean, that's the kind of beer that's going to really upset me because I'll be looking for it and getting all depressed. I can't find it, Pabst Extra. I'm trying to not even think about it right now because the more I think about it, the more upset I'll get. I drink any malt liquor, says Christian Living. Well, if you drink street legal, 40 street legal, you might change your mind about drinking any malt liquor. Try Camo Black Extra, says Nicholas Marsh. Yeah, I ought to try that, huh? Jeremy says, next video challenge, 4 Loco Gold versus Camo Black. Jeremy's trying to be a cad. And Sofa says, Ron loves Camo beers. Yeah, I love them, like car wrecks and cancer and World War III. All right, hold on a second. Man, look, it hasn't hardly even rained. Like, we had a little rainstorm, and they were talking about it on the news yesterday like it's the end of the world as we know it, as Rapid Eye Movement would say. It's a catastrophe. Canceling schools, canceling work, canceling baseball games. I'd have been leaving for a baseball game at this very moment. Well, soon. Baseball game. Oh, no, it's going to rain. It's going to rain. I can remember going to school when I was a little kid. They never canceled school for rain. Like, never. Now, if it sprinkles, like, hurry up, cancel school. Nothing's happened. We haven't gotten anywhere. It's drizzling outside. Like, what is all of this? All right. Anyway, I say this is Schlitz. It is Schlitz. I did it. I knew it was. Man, look, like growing up around here, people would have like very decisive attitudes about beer, believe me. And it was funny, So we would talk about beer, and people would say, I ain't drinking that. That's a beer. And I'd be like, what does that even mean? I was like, why wouldn't you try it? It's like, you don't know anything about the history of this beer. You know nothing about Schlitz malt liquor. You know nothing about Colt 45. But I ain't drinking that. That's a beer. I was like, maybe you're wrong. Like, maybe they know something we don't know. Like maybe you have the problem. So I remember I was talking to a student one time in school, and he was like, we was drinking Magnum. We was drinking Magnum. I was like, what is Magnum? He said, that's a beer. He was from Reserve. So I remember thinking, Magnum, a beer. I'm going to remember that. So now I remember that, and it's like, I don't know. We got to get past all of this, like categorizing people, and saying, I ain't drinking that. That's a beer. Average Technician says, love the Orioles hat. Thank you. Jeremy says, oh, yeah, and this is a pretty nice hat. I actually bought it at the ballpark. We got tons of rain, but it had no bad storms, luckily. I'm glad to hear that. We had a few tornadoes in Pennsylvania last Sunday. Yikes. Yay, you like Miller High Life, says Bree Guy. Do I? I got some in the fridge, in fact. Voltron says, what's your favorite light beer? Favorite light beer. Well, first of all, let me say, I was able to tell these apart, and I'm very proud of that. Secondly, I don't even like light beer, so I don't really have a favorite. Now, if you say it like, what's the one you dislike the least? Which light beer do I dislike the least? Oh, be either probably Michelob. No. Heineken Light or Milwaukee's Best Light. Yeah, Milwaukee's Best Light has a higher hop profile. It's more bitter than the others. That's right. Look at your Cyclops scale. You'll find that out. Most American light beers are 1 out of 5 hop cones, but Miller, I'll get it right. Milwaukee's Best Light is 2 out of 5 hop cones. Now you might say, wow, that's not really a lot. Yeah, it isn't, but it is relative to the others. And then Christian Living says malt liquor. Okay. Scruffy's is there. It says Miller High Life Light. Yeah, I think if I was going to be stuck drinking light beer, Miller High Life Light would be one of the ones I'd pick. This is one that you guys out there need to get, Miller High Life Light. That's a really good light beer. I wouldn't want to drink it, but if I had to drink light beer, I'd be picking it. I'm going to show y'all some old cans. Yeah, I'm going to show you some old cans and bottles, and I'm getting off of this. Average Technician says Yingling Light is pretty flavorful. Yes, it is. I agree with that. Christian Living says, I drank Corona Familiar yesterday with my dad. That's good. My father no longer drinks, so. Shane Giggy says, hello, Ron. Long time no see. Long time no see, Shane, but I was talking about you on the Canadian things. Not in a bad way, just talking about your comments. Have you had any of the Aldi beers? Yes, I have. Been years, 10 years. Grant Matthews said, I was actually surprised at how good the Lost Trout Brown Ale is. Yeah, we don't get Aldi around here, man. We only get Trader Joe's, which is owned by Aldi. Yingling Light is one of the better ones. That for Corona Familiar is great too, says Jeremy. Thanks, Jeremy. Great video as usual, says Craig. Thank you, Craig. All right, so now it's time. Now it's time for the beer cans. Oh. So anyway, I'm that weirdo that mixes vodka with Corona Extra and lime, says Bree Guy. Oh, man, the last time I drank vodka was like when I had the Katz and Best Off vodka. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It wasn't Katz and Best Off vodka. It was Crown Rus, and before that was Taka. It's a shame I wasn't doing videos back then because I drank Crown Rus and then Taka. Oh, Taka is so popular in Louisiana. Oh, well, you know, I went to Houston, Texas in 1999. We stopped at Specs downtown, their huge liquor store. I was walking around the Specs liquor store. I stopped. I looked to my left. I gasped. I did not break out into tears. I did not start crying in the store because I was able to stop that before it happened. And I saw these bottles, a 6-pack, well, mini 6-packs on one of those little islands, you know, where they a stud stack. It was like $3.99 a 6-pack glass. And my friend Paul, you know, he was like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Why do you care about this? And I'm like, look at him massacre my boy. And I was just like, you know, look at this. Look. He was like, it's Schlitz beer. Like, why are you looking at that? I'm like, you can't get those bottles like that. You can't get this. You can't get it. So, of course, I immediately bought it, and I couldn't wait to get home and drink it and collect it and just basically make my whole life revolve around it for the last 20 years, I'm sorry. No, I mean, but I was so excited. So excited. Very excited. Oh, Lord. And then I got a 40-ounce bottle, but I didn't keep that. All right. Shane would be a good one. I'm a huge Coors Banquet fan for macro beer, and Budweiser is good too. They say Taka vodka is awful, says Shane. Well, I don't think Taka vodka is awful. I drank a whole bottle of it, and I didn't find it was awful, but I don't have any vodka experience. Do you know that's got to be the #1 selling vodka in Louisiana? I see billboards everywhere. I see Taka vodka everywhere, and Taka gin, which my daughter even admits Taka gin is good. She had to admit that. She said, that's like a little better than the average. I said, right. Jeremy Vincent says, cool bottle. Sofa says, I'd like to find Schlitz in bottles, or better yet, draft. I've had it on draft in Milwaukee. I guess I'm lucky I can get at least the cans. You're right. I give them both a solid A every day, says Shane. Christian Living says, laugh out loud. I love your channel, bro. I want you to know that I may not comment, but I'll stick around, and I want you to know that. Oh, I appreciate it. Bart says, sure wish you could get the extra gold. I do too. Wish you could get the Red Dog. I do too. It would blow these out the water other than Schlitz, in my opinion. I don't know if Coors Extra Gold would blow Coors out the water. But I know that Coors Extra Gold is a mighty fine product, and I was so dismayed when I went to Winn-Dixie one day looking for it, and they didn't have it, and I was like getting frantic, like, where's Coors Extra Gold? Where's Coors Extra Gold? And I was talking to like the assistant manager. I was like, I was looking for Coors Extra Gold, and you don't have it. And they're like, well, it's not in stock right now, but it should come in later. And I was like, because I was looking for Coors Extra Gold, but they didn't call the sheriff's office. I kind of calmed down. But it never showed. It never came back. Coors Extra Gold never did come back. All right. So, all right, I'll show you some Coors stuff. All right. Yeah, so I was really seriously upset that they didn't have Coors Extra Gold when I went looking for it. And here we are 20 years later, I still can't find it. I can still get Red Dog, but it's very spotty. And the Extra Gold is fabulous and easier to get in my neck of the woods. Well, that's great to hear. Sorry, I can't get it. Budweiser versus Coors Banquet next to it. Well, I did that, Budweiser versus Coors Banquet. It was a straight up tie, no joke. I guess it's better than I haven't had Extra Gold. Oh, Extra Gold's like heroin. You get a bad Jones on that because Man, look. Oh, that banana flavor. You see this? Oh no, the Schlitz is gone. That's all right. I got some left in the fridge. Oh, the rain's picking up. The rain's picking up. Thanks, man. I remember my friend's grandfather giving me Coors Banquet. I appreciate reviewing it. Thanks, dude. Oh, you're welcome. See this here? I bought this bottle so long ago and I kept it. I said, hey, I'm keeping this. We'll see how it changes over the years. But it didn't change because I never saw it again after about a year. I used to get serious with this. Now, I would get serious with Coors Extra Gold. When you wanted to get serious, you bought Coors Extra Gold. I had a friend. He died, unfortunately. But he said he had a girl. I don't want to tell that story. All right. A girlfriend, but I better not tell that story. All right. Not only is this beer an award winner, they have an essay on the side, like a literal essay about Coors Extra Gold. Yeah, good move, Coors. The best beer you make, but nobody can get it. Look, I like what they say as more of a torment to me. For extra gold drinkers like myself until 1999, these awards are no surprise. If this is your first extra gold, enjoy the beer the world finds pretty special. Draft beer. It was a draft beer. Yeah, it's special, all right. Special and unobtainable. So if you were feeling bad, now you feel even worse. Then one of my viewers, and you know who you are, sent me Coors Extra Gold slow brewed lager in the can. This is after it was no longer draft. But it's still made with those, 5 malt varieties and, was it 6 hops? 6 different hops? Yeah, he sent me these 2 cans. Yeah, it requires uncommon patience. I don't know about that, but, that's all just patience in the slow aging of the roasted malts. Patience to take the 3 extra brewing steps needed to craft every batch. This added time and effort yields an exceptional refined lager. Well, I actually agree with that. This traditional old world lager recipe allows no shortcuts. Yeah, so there begs the question, well, if this is the best beer you make, how about letting people get it? Then, one time, I'll tell you this story real quick. Oh, that's gold. That is gold, Jerry. That's gold, Jerry. So I'm driving through Texas on US Highway 190. And I stop at a liquor store. And I was like, look at this. Naturally, I bought it. Coors Dry. Premium dry beer. This was 1998. And I was like, oh, bazam. As you would imagine, I never saw it again in my whole life. Man, it was dry too. Like, everybody's geeking out now over, oh man, I drank a Brute IPA. It's so dry. It's so dry, man. And I tasted it, and I'm like, yeah, I drank that like 23 years ago. Dry beers. They're like, yeah, but it's so like crisp. It's like a champagne. It's bubbly. I'm like, yeah, I drank that like 23 years ago. They're like, it's not like a regular IPAs. It's super crisp. It's super dry. It's super bubbly. I was like, I know. I drank that like 23 years ago. You remember Bud Dry? You remember Michelob Dry? You remember those? And they're like, I don't remember that. I'm 26 years old. I was 3 years old. I didn't drink that then. I was like, I know. It's like, this is not new. This is not a new concept. Super dry lager beer. Okay, but now it's ale. It was lager, but it's still beer, right? Okay, we get it. All right. I'm going to get the... Well, this rain is picking up now. Hold on. It's starting to come in the house. It's getting kind of heavy now, guys and dolls. All right. Thanks, man. Oh, tell it, bro. I don't mind. I still want to try so bad. Well, that's marketing, you see. People wouldn't buy Banquet if everybody was buying extra gold. Yeah, I started to believe that a little bit. Like, they made a beer that was so good, maybe it would hurt the Banquet. I'm gonna put your video into my video on a high speaker. I'm gonna tell my dad. I know he understands. He's from Spain, man. Europe, dude. You are awesome, Jay. I'm raining like crazy now, huh? Well, yeah. It is kind of raining like crazy. All right. And I was getting ready to show you these old beer. I was like obsessed with Coors. Well, I'm still obsessed, but I was obsessed with Coors beers. Like, oh, then this bottle came out. It was like an all brown bottle with the writing on the back. I was like, I gotta buy that. It's got an essay on the back. Heritage. And it says at the end, Heritage tastes great, doesn't it? It should put a comma there, but that's all right. It does taste great. I like tasting Heritage. So this was like from 1998. I remember every time I would go to the store, they would have a new Coors. It seemed like every week they would change the Coors label, and I'd be like so excited. I remember being so excited, like literally just worked up over it. I was like, they changed the label. I got to get it. Now I just gave up because I can't keep up. And then I was on US Highway 66. Remember the old Route 66? And I was at this liquor store in Oklahoma, of all places. Look at this travesty. 3.2% alcohol by weight maximum. That's 4%. That's like not the real Coors. That's the Oklahoma Coors. I didn't buy it because of alcohol. I bought it because of the bottle design. Like it's a bottle, but like a cowboy lassoed his rope around it. You see that embossed bottle with the rope? See all the rope? It starts at the top. It's like he lashed it, and then he kept going around and around and around the bottle. So I was like, for real, there's no way I'm not buying this. Was it a good price in Oklahoma? Not really, but it sure wasn't a good ABV, but I bought it. I couldn't help it. I had to buy it. Then, oh, that's it. Okay, well, so what did we prove today? Not a lot. We proved that you can tell Schlitz from Coors. Takes a little effort. We also proved that you can't really decide which one is better because they both taste really good, if you want to call that proving anything. Thirdly, we proved that a lot of people can't get it because they were commenting on the fact that they can't attain the Schlitz and they have a less than adequate time finding Coors Banquet. I mean, don't go to a restaurant and ask for it. You'll get Coors Light. Fourthly, we determined something else. I can't remember. All right. So anyway, Now, the next taste challenge is coming up, and it's going to be, oh man, this is a hard decision. I only have one can of Busch left. And like Ronnie was saying, I didn't really like it. It's like, no, I'm not going to go out and buy another 12-pack of Busch beer. That is not going to happen. So I have to decide, am I going to do Busch beer versus Schlitz? What's wrong? Am I going to do Busch beer versus Coors? Or am I going to do Busch beer versus Michelob? You know, the original. I think, but I really think I'm going to do the Busch versus Michelob. And I don't think it's going to be much of a challenge because I got those 5 Michelobs left, and I think those are going to be a great series of challenges. Michelob versus Budweiser, that was a great one. Michelob versus Miller High Life, a great one. Michelob versus Schlitz, another great challenge. Michelob versus Pabst Blue Ribbon, another great challenge. Michelob versus something, whatever. But I love Michelob. I'm not talking about Michelob Ultra because anytime I say Michelob, people tell me, I love Michelob. And I look at them funny and I say, you're talking about Michelob Ultra, right? Well, yeah, Michelob. I just said Michelob. I'm like, yeah, let's talk. We need to sit down and talk, but of course they don't care. All right. Thanks for watching this video production.